Commonwealth, you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth calls Dr. Biswas.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You stop right there, raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give I do. Thank you. You may have a seat, ma'am. Thank you.
Watch your step, please.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon.
All right. Commonwealth, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your first and last name?
Yes, my name is Jillam Biswas. My first name is spelled J-H-I-L-A-M. Last name spelled B-I-S-W-A-S.
And your date of birth?
Date of birth is 9/12/1982.
What do you do for a living?
I am a forensic psychiatrist, and I work at Brigham and Women's Hospital.
And what is a forensic psychologist or psychiatrist? Pardon.
Well, I'm a forensic psychiatrist by specialty training, and we work in the courts often doing forensic evaluations of individuals, but I'm also an adult psychiatrist, and I work at Brigham and Women's Hospital as an adult psychiatrist on the consult liaison unit.
And can you just briefly describe your education and training background that qualifies you for this work?
Sure. I grew up in the South Shore. I went to Dartmouth College, and then I went to medical school at UMass Chan Medical School. I then did my psychiatry residency at Harvard Longwood, which consists of Brigham and Women's, Beth Israel, Boston Children's at the time. And after that, I did subspecialty training after my psychiatry residency in forensic psychiatry, again at UMass Chan Medical School.
And focusing in on January of 2023, were you working at the Brigham and Women's Hospital?
I was.
And specifically on January 25th, 2023, did you interact with a patient there named Lindsay Clancy?
I did on January 26th.
26th, okay. And in what capacity did you interact with her? As a forensic psychiatrist or as a member of the staff at Brigham and Women's?
I interacted with her as a member of the staff, the psychiatry staff at Brigham and Women's Hospital.
And did you have a particular role that day on January 26, 2023?
Yes, I was on the consult liaison service, which is the psychiatry service that's called by medical and surgical specialties to help evaluate and provide psychiatric recommendations.
And did you meet with Ms. Clancy on that day, on the 26th?
I did.
And was that around 2:14 p.m. that you had that interaction?
I think it was somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock, yes.
And when you met with Lindsay Clancy, was that in her hospital room in the ICU?
It was.
And was she intubated at the time?
She was.
And was she awake?
She was awake.
And was she oriented?
So she was intubated, so it was difficult for her to really answer a range of questions. And so she gestured to me to be able to write. And so we knew that she was really exhausted and anxious from the entire experience and the evaluation. And so we didn't ask her all of the questions around orientation.
When she gestured that she wanted to write, did you give her something to write with or something to write on?
I did.
And what did you give her?
Paper.
And did you also give her a pen or something like that?
I did.
Okay. And was she able to, when you asked her certain questions, was she able to answer those questions by writing the answers on the paper?
She was.
Okay. And did you ask her about her mood that day?
I did ask her her mood.
And what did she write?
She wrote horrified.
And what was her affect during this interaction?
At the time that I saw her, she was intubated, and that in and of itself is very uncomfortable. And so she seemed very anxious.
And did she write anything else on that paper that you saw?
Yes, the entire evaluation was done through writing because she couldn't speak.
So what types of questions were you asking her, and what was she responding with?
So we asked her, how are you feeling? Horrified. And then she wrote down, do I have an attorney? And I said with my team that at this time, we're just getting to know you and getting to know the case, and we're not sure exactly, what is happening. And we asked her, do you have questions for us? And she asked, is my body broken? Are my legs straight? And she then asked about, can she have visitors? And, where her family is.
And when you are asking her questions, what is the goal of the questions that you're asking her? What are you trying to address or assess?
It depends. Psychiatrists are called for all kinds of issues that happen in the hospital. In this situation, we were asked around, diagnostic clarity, that there was a likely suicide event that occurred. Can you evaluate her for safety at this time before she goes into surgery?
And I know that she was intubated, so she's writing her answers. But based on the answers she wrote on the paper, did she seem to understand the questions you were asking?
Yes.
And her responses, did you understand those?
Yes, she was anxious and she needed breaks. And I said, anytime you need a break, we can leave. But she did write to us those particular answers.
So what she was writing, even when she asked if she had a lawyer, those were things, what she was writing made sense given the situation. She wasn't writing, is there a unicorn in the corner, right?
Correct.
Like that.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What?
If there was a unicorn in the corner. So what she's asking, do I have an attorney? Are my legs straight? Is my body broken? Those all made sense given the situation she was in, correct?
They were relevant answers and questions she was asking.
Okay. And are you familiar with the characteristics of psychosis?
Yes.
Okay. And what are the typical signs or symptoms of someone who is in psychosis?
It really depends, and it ranges across a spectrum of symptoms. So we have a whole category of different types of symptoms that we look at for psychosis, and they are different for everyone. But, they can be what we call negative symptoms, which are more internal, isolating, not responding, not reacting very much. And then we have symptoms like positive symptoms, that's what we call them in psychiatry, but they're a little bit more outward focused, where objectively you can see what those symptoms are, like being paranoid, darting your eyes around, responding to internal stimuli, which means you're responding to voices, and, being within a delusion. So there's all kinds of symptoms, and they look different for each and every person.
In your conversation with Ms. Clancy, did you notice any internal or external signs of psychosis?
At the time, I documented that I did not note those.
Okay. And did you also note that, she was, her thinking was linear, goal-oriented, thoughtful, and she didn't appear to be responding to internal stimuli?
Yes, that is typical language in psychiatric mental statuses, and I did document that.
What is internal stimuli?
Oftentimes, it's very difficult for our patients to be able to articulate what they're hearing. They may have perceptual disturbances like hallucinations or auditory hallucinations, and maybe hearing voices. When it's really active, we often see those individuals interacting with those voices. I didn't see that in that particular moment.
So, for example, you could see someone engaging in a looks like they're engaging in a conversation with someone, or looks like they're looking over at something, thinking something or someone is there when they're not. Is that
correct? That's what responding to internal stimuli is. Yes.
And you didn't see any of that present with Miss Clancy?
Correct.
And would it be fair that some of the obvious signs of psychosis would be someone whose thoughts are disorganized, that their thinking isn't linear, that they're not making sense, things like word salad where they're just throwing in words, making sentences that don't make sense?
So you describe symptoms that we can see in people with serious mental illness who have a psychotic disorder with active symptoms.
And you didn't see any of that with Miss Clancy, is that correct?
Not in that snapshot moment of time.
Right. And to be clear, you only saw her for a limited amount of time on that one day, correct?
That is correct.
And this is January 26, 2023, about a day and a half or so after she's admitted to Brigham and Women's.
That is correct, yes.
And she's still intubated.
Yes.
And one of the first questions she asked is, do I have a lawyer?
Yes.
And did you have any, based on your training experience, did you have any thoughts about her awareness or thoughtfulness about the questions she asked or the answers she gave?
I don't know what that means, objection.
Okay, if you could rephrase that.
Did you have any assessment professionally of the responses and awareness that she had?
Yes, at that time, I was trying to assess, is she confused or oriented? Is she completely disorganized? Is she so anxious that she won't be able to sleep? I was assessing suicidality mostly. I was being called into the room for that. And so there were a lot of things that I was assessing all at the same time before the surgical intervention that was going to happen. And did I answer your question?
Yes. Okay. All right. And so in doing that, in evaluating all of those things, did you have any concerns at that point in time that she couldn't make a decision to have the surgery, or that there was some cause for concern there in her behavior?
I felt she had the capability to make the decision for surgery at that time.
I have no further